welcome back to Guy Last TV for another episode of Catch Up, where I've been able to pin down one of our guys, Laurence, who we placed over in Dubai, I believe, 2 to 3 months ago now. So it's going to be a very good insight into somebody that has freshly landed in Dubai and recently started in the real estate industry. So, Laurence, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Laurence. I'm 21 from Norwich. Yeah, been in Dubai a couple of months working for one broker group now, thanks to Guy, which is always nice.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
So I mean, before we get into your experience so far within your company and Dubai, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you were doing in the UK and where you come from?
Come from basically. I would academically, I was okay, averagely academically, so no pressure in that sense. I went to college, done business and finances. I wanted to get into sales from that point onwards, and then I started selling cars. So I started off working for a Kia and Mazda joint franchise just outside Norwich, about an hour away, so it was a bit of a commute. And then I went on to working for the likes of Suzuki and Mercedes as well. So I'm quite far in a 3-year period, and then now I found myself in Dubai.
Very good. So you've had some sales experience in the UK then, is that right?
Yes, correct, yeah.
Excellent. And where are you in Dubai at the moment? Just tell everybody where you are. We can see a nice, we saw a picture of the background. I think that's the address.
Yes, it is. So I'm sitting in Marina Plaza office, overlooking the marina currently. Well, it's behind me slightly, but yeah, next to Dubai Marina Mall.
Yeah. Is it a bit better view than what you had at the car showroom?
Yeah. Looking over like an overcast Norwich was not nice every day, but looking over the marina is a bit better.
Very good, very good. So share with us why Dubai? I mean, was this something that you've been looking into for a while? Was it something that just flashed up on your screen? Tell us why Dubai.
So, a bit of a long story, cut it quite short for you though. Someone I was close with in my life for a few years knew of someone who moved out to Dubai via Guy Last. So we kind of knew about it back in February time. And it was one of those that, that'd be good, that would be good. I'm thinking, yeah, what a life that would be, this, that, the other. And then obviously we went separate ways in our lives. And I thought I'd pursue the opportunity to I was like, well, I want to better my life, I want to better my lifestyle. I want to basically prove people wrong. So I was like, basically called Guy. Well, I sent an email actually saying, hi, my CV might not be too good, but can you help me please? And
I'm desperate to move. Get me out of this place.
Yeah, 5 months down the line, I'm here now.
Excellent. And actually, on that point, I'd like to share with everybody, because you actually had a pretty rough time going through the interview stages. And hopefully there's 1 or 2 of the clients that turn down your application, or even after going through the interviews. I think with one company you had 3 interviews, even with the sales director and owners of the company, and still said no due to your age,
experience,
and yet you're there 3 months in, doing deals within the first month. So tell us a little bit about that, because I was very impressed, because it was quite a pressured time for you, and it wouldn't have been a nice time. Not just, I mean, we'll just say, not through just the rejection, but also, I suppose, the frustration of it as well. So tell us a little bit about going through that.
Well, the way I looked at it, it was basically a sales environment from the off. Like, you got to get used to saying no. It's like, obviously, I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Like, going into the first interviews, I was dead nervous. I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be any good at this. Like, I've never done a Skype interview or Zoom interview beforehand, so it was all a bit wary. Like, it's based off first impressions as well. So as soon as you sit in front of the screen, like I'm sure you all are right now, you're probably judging, thinking, what does this guy look like? And everything like that. But like, it's about perseverance, and the way I saw it is everything happens for a reason. So maybe if them companies did say no, then I convinced them to say yes, or something like that along the line, or they changed their mind. I might not have worked out there. Like with the company which you were saying about, which said, right, we can't, they said yes, and then no, then yes, and then no again. That was about over a 3-week period. And at the end of that point, I was like, oh, is it actually for me? Like, maybe fate's tempting itself, saying, don't go, this, that, the other. Had conversations with my family saying, maybe it's not for me. But then obviously speaking to yourself and Emma as well, I think you guys reassured me. Like, you kept my spirits high. It was difficult in a way, but at the end of the day, everything's worked out for a reason as well. And now I'm still here, so it's all working out so far.
Very good, very good. So tell us a little bit about what your motivations were then, because you would have had to stay quite motivated to pursue after, like you said, one company was yes, no, yes, no, yes,
yeah.
no. Until we finally, got you with a company that saw the potential. So what's been motivating you before getting there, or even what is still your motivations for being in Dubai now?
So initially, like I touched on it earlier, I at school wasn't the most academic. I done well in like my GCSEs and college diplomas and this, that, the other. So, like, I got all the accreditations and whatnot. But I feel like people doubted me as well, because the family I've come from, people have always seen it as that I've got my life teed up in a way, whereas I wanted to build my career myself as well. So I could have easily went and worked for family business, this, that, the other, but I think what motivated me the most was to prove people wrong, like proving people who doubted me at school, proving people who doubted me at college as well. Even family members doubted me as well, so I just wanted to kind of have one up on them and show them that actually I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and kind of get on and do it.
Good. Excellent. And so how long have you been in Dubai now? When did you land there?
I landed on my flight was the 4th of July, and I landed the morning of the 5th of July. So haven't been here too long. 2 months today. Today? Yeah, today.
Yeah, 2 months. Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your experience so far then, from joining the company, moving to Dubai, a complete new city, Emirate. So share a bit of your experiences, maybe your ups or downs that you've had so far.
It was daunting, to say the least. I've gone from quite like a home kind of guy to living at home with like family and having majority of my stuff done for me. So like cooking, coming home to tea after work, is that a lunch made for me for my days at work. And ironing was the worst bit. Yeah, ironing was the worst bit. So I've gone from this, I would say, very dependent person on other people to maturing into someone who's self-dependent in a way now. By saying that, I'm not saying I still iron my shirts, because I get them dry cleaned at a very cheap rate. So that's what collection delivery. I've learned how to get the dry cleaning. So, like the lowest points, probably, if you're going touching on that, it was probably the first couple of weeks. I think that was the hardest, because I've gone from having quite a good, close group of friends at home. Like I had my sister there who I'm quite close with, my family I'm close with as well, little brother, to having someone there every day for me. So obviously when I was with my ex-girlfriend for 4 years, we were together every day. And then obviously when that ended, I was with my family every day and I saw my friends every day. So going from having the luxury of that every day to now, when I landed here, I was like, well, what do I do with myself? I literally landed, unpacked my bags in my place and thinking, well, what do I do now? Essentially, I sat there for about 3 hours thinking, oh, this is going to be a bit daunting. But I think that was the hardest bit. There's times within the first 2 weeks where I thought, is this for me? I love the job, don't get me wrong, it's not the job putting me off. I think it's the nature of being on my own and not having anyone there to just talk to, like roommates and stuff like that. We're talkative, but you got nothing in common with some of them. You don't know who they are, you don't trust them, this, that, the other. But I think that was the hardest few weeks personally. But at the end of the day, like push comes to shove, like I've got friends now. My barber, I literally got my hair cut by him and he was like, do you want to come out with me tonight? And I've made like a good group of friends now from that. So it's all about putting yourself out there in a way. I think from most people's perspective, what they find pretty outlook of it, what would be difficult with being on your own as well, not knowing anyone. Because obviously the expat community out here is small, so you can make loads of like different friends, especially in the marina. Like I think everyone knows everyone, which is a bit scary in that sense as well. Yeah. But going like off highs as well. So like I think the highs of it so far obviously doing a deal in the first month. I think it's more of, that was obviously a really good point, but it's actually, I think one of my best moments was finding myself and who I am. So like I've understood a bit more about myself. Like I've learned to do stuff on my own, which really sounds childish in a way, but I feel like I've matured as well in that sense. Yeah. So, but my first few weeks, obviously I popped into work. Well, I landed on a Thursday, so Thursday is the Friday here. I went out really on my own. Went out to some place called Pier 7, if anyone's heard of it out there, and just basically trying to socialise. It was difficult. Very, very difficult, just group hopping, trying to make some friends. and then I was on my own for the majority of the night, and I was like, oh, what am I doing? but yeah, it's kind of fallen into place.
Good. So you sort of mentioned, like, one or two things that you found very difficult, and sort of answered how would you overcome that. I mean, one of the things you said is just, talk to people, get to know people. Yeah. As you probably second this, Dubai is a very social city. It's full of expats.
But it's also very lonely at the same time.
Can be. It can be, especially, and as you said, especially at the earlier stages. Yeah. So, I mean, do you feel now, I mean, again, only being there 2 months, which is still a very short period of time, do you feel more settled? Do you feel more, friends? You feel like socially now?
Well, the thing I feel the most is I feel like secure in a way as well. So I feel like I'm here now. Like I've got a good group of friends. Initially, I miss my family lots, but I can't find the time to really speak to my mum anymore. She's probably going to watch this and hate me for saying it, but I just don't reply to her messages because I'm just so busy all the time. And I think with work as well. So with work, it's all about the hard work. So you're constantly working. And I think that takes your mind off it a lot. So I think that's a benefit to being on your own in a way as well. So you can kind of get it done and like crack on with it all straight away.
Of course. So good. So what I'd like to do now, I mean, why don't you give us a little bit of an insight into the life of a real estate agent? So, I mean, you've only been it 2 months, albeit, but I mean, surrounded by very well experienced estate agents in your office.
Done the training with you.
Pardon?
Done the training with you.
Done the training with me as well. I'm a bit of a veteran. So tell us a life of a real estate agent in Dubai.
Life of a real estate agent. So the oddest thing is the working weeks, because the working week's Sunday to Thursday, so completely different to what the UK is like. I set myself out weekly. I spend the first 3 days really prospecting, trying to get the listings on. To get enough listings, then you'll get leads from it as well. So I tried to set my week out to have the first 3 days, so Sunday to Tuesday, just constantly grafting away, trying to get as many listings as possible. Wednesday and Thursday, I try to stay free so I can be out and about. So if it's going to listings or it's meeting clients, or if, like, for instance, go club at Jumeirah Golf Estates, just go sit in the clubhouse, do a bit of work on your laptop there, use their Wi-Fi for free, and have a cold drink in there as well. Because it's all about networking in a way. You've got to put yourself out there to be able to meet other people, especially like landlords, tenants, this, that, the other. It's all about, if they recognise your face, they'll come to you as well.
Good. Excellent. And would you say it's an enjoyable working atmosphere, like the job role itself? Do you find it enjoyable? Share a bit of, your experiences in terms of, do you find it too stressful? Is it too busy? Is it hard work? I mean, give us a bit of an insight for the people that watch.
Initially, I was a bit lost. I was a bit engulfed in it all because there's so much to take in. Our first week here, we done with our HR manager Nicole. We sat there, done the induction on the first day, kind of learnt a bit more about the company, what they expect from us, what plans are, this, that, the other. And then on the second day, we done an initiation for the whole team. There's 60 people in here, so it's quite daunting as well. Just jumping out in front of people, you're nervous as it is. But we had this training period we did a 9-day training period with Ramsey, one of our directors here, and he covered what you covered in your induction in the UK, but it's more of an in-depth one where you understand different techniques, first-hand situations, a bit of shadowing as well. But after that, you're kind of trying to take so much in. Like I've got a notebook full of like notes just from the 9 days, so I can always refer back to it if I need to. But like it's enjoyable. It's very enjoyable. Staying on track, it's very enjoyable. It's more about momentum. I think. Like I think momentum is key in it. Obviously, until you get your first deal, you've got the stress, you've got the pressure as well. So what I personally felt was, I felt like it was building up on me, and I think the key is don't panic in that situation. You're going to feel it because it's a sales-based role, but once you kind of settle down and you kind of keep your like narrow-minded on what your goal is, as soon as you get that first deal in, it's like a massive relief off your shoulders. And as I said to you earlier, it's a lot more, you start to enjoy it a bit more in that sense as well. So it took me a few weeks to finally kind of get engulfed in the enjoyment of it all. But as soon as you kind of get your first deal under the belt, you're kind of away as such now.
Of course. I mean, I've always said, closing deals is a habit, and I think it's getting into that momentum of that habit, and the rest will come as long as you keep consistent, which is important, and keep doing the right things consistently. For sure, it works in the real estate industry in Dubai. So one of the main questions we get asked, Laurence, from candidates that are now in your position that you were in 3 months ago, so it probably wasn't long ago that you were asking me the same questions. Well, first of all, before we go into one of the questions, tell me about what you thought about going from into a commission-based role because I'm assuming in the UK you had a salary, and being in the industry you was, I'm assuming you had some sort of commission structure. Going from that over to Dubai into a brand new industry you know nothing about, a brand new city, office environment, on a strict commission-only basis with no salary. Share your thoughts, feelings on that.
So it was difficult. That was my biggest concern about moving out here. I know you reassured us from start to finish, saying that it's fine, you'll be fine, this, that, the other. But like going from the motor trade, it has a basic salary, albeit it's not massive. It's there to cover the basics. So it's livable if you didn't do any deals, but if you're not doing any deals, you're not a very good salesman at the end of the day. So the idea is to always get money on top of it. But it's a sense of security. So obviously, back home, I know I was getting X amount of money per month into my bank account minimum. So I knew that covers my payments. I could earn a car back home, phone bills, this, that, the other. It'll cover everything I need, especially like going out or doing stuff, playing golf, this, that, the other. And coming out here to, obviously, I lived at home, so it's coming out to more responsibility. So I've got rent to pay, I've got a car to pay for out here now as well. So you've got to kind of go from one extreme to another. So going into having a comfortable knowing, yes, fine, it's going to get paid regardless. If it might be a tight month, it might not. To going out here thinking, right, I do need to earn some money, I need to work hard for it. But I feel like initially I thought it was a bad thing. I was like, oh, why am I doing this, that, the other? Like I had regrets about it. But I feel like it's beneficial in a way. I know it sounds a bit contradictory, but I feel like it benefits you because it gives you that determination to just work hard. Because like at the end of the day, at my age in Dubai, I don't want to go home. Like if I go home, people are going to think I failed out here. Like if I do go home, I probably have failed out here. But like you've got to pay your rent to stay here, haven't you? In a way, so you can't go like live on the streets and look nice in a suit every day. It doesn't work like that. So it kind of gives you the momentum to build up for it, to basically keep the hard work up, and you've got to have a goal to earn the minimum amount of money as possible. So you've got your eyes set on, right, I'm earning that. Anything above it would be great. Obviously, you'll want to earn lots of money out here. So.
Of course. And following on from that, so the next question then would be that we get asked is how soon can you earn money? And, is it, once you build your pipeline, is it consistently achievable?
So, earning money, you probably had lots of different answers to this. It depends. It really depends on the individual more than anything. So I could say, yeah, it's really easy, but a candidate might not have the same mentality as me. No one's got the same mentality as anyone. Like, we're all unique to different people. I think area helps as well. Obviously, doing Jumeirah Golf Estates is a bit more long-winded, the deals will come shorter, but because they're a higher amount as well. So if you do like Marina or downtown or Business Bay, because they're obviously apartments, they're a bit more affordable in that sense, they'll come a lot sooner. So I've spoke to people out here who I've met on brunches, and they're like, yeah, I closed the deal in my first few days. And I'm like, oh, you're a lucky guy. But then once I closed my first deal, that added up, that accumulated to be about 3 or 4 of theirs in one commission check. So it swings and roundabouts. It all comes down to obviously having your set budget, which you can live off, which I know Guy says bring 5,000 to 7,000 to 10,000 pounds out. Ideally a bit more, because you can blow it quite easily out here, which I've experienced. But I feel like going from that perspective, it eggs you on to be a bit more.
Yeah, of course. And again, you've got to have that stability at the first time. So with your commission check, did you buy your new tailor-made suit, was it?
Yeah. No, I bought that before. That's the money I moved out here with.
Shall we get Let's have a look.
It's got my name on it. There you go.
Oh, look at that. See? So you're not doing too bad. You're not doing too bad. You've never had one selling cars in Norwich.
Yeah, I didn't have one of them selling cars. I had my Marks and Spencer suits and stuff like that. But it's nice.
It's one of them where you enjoy making money, but like you said, if you don't manage your finances on the initial stage, well, it can be spent, because Dubai is a very attractive place. Yeah. There's always something you can spend your money on.
Exactly.
But managing it well is obviously a key important thing, as well as making money on the flip side. So give us some, without sharing too much information, obviously. Yeah. Give us some idea of what some of the guys are earning in your office at the moment. Some of the top average earners.
Office space. We've got some guy in the team who, I believe, last month he billed 460k for the company commission. So I think he'll get 65% of that, because he's a senior broker. So he will get a lot of money. Yeah,
the equivalent is around £60,000.
Yeah, in 1 month.
Albeit,
don't get your expectations up. It's probably a once in the blue moon sort of thing. But you can averagely earn, DRM-wise, you can averagely earn about 20 to 30k quite comfortably. I've seen people in the office do more. I've seen people in the office do less. Like in my first month, I done 15k, which is from one deal. And it all adds up. Like
£3,000.
£3,000, yeah, which is a nice amount of money, to be fair. But it's all about getting your rhythm up to it. Like, you've got to constantly have stuff in the pipeline. So as long as you've constantly got stuff in the pipeline, regardless if you blank 1 month, you just got to keep your spirits high, and hopefully they'll pay off the next month as well. It's like anything. From what I've gone from, so I've gone from quite a quick turnaround process. So I could sell a car on a Thursday and deliver it on the Monday. So that's paperwork all done, finance paid, everything like that. They have it out by Monday, washed, fuel, this, that, the other. So going from a process where now it's going from that quickness to something which could potentially take 2 to 3 months. So as you said earlier, it's all about managing your finances as well. So once you've got it, save it, don't spend it. A lot of people out here spend then save, but it doesn't quite work that well. So
no, I mean, it works for a lot of people. It depends on what I know people that get 5 years and lived an amazing life. But it's all different things. I know people there that have got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 houses. So it really doesn't. Has got no houses, but 8 watches. It's all different on what people want to achieve, I suppose.
All suits.
All suits like yourself.
Yeah, like obviously you meet people out here, so like people in our office are doing really well. Like I know you interviewed Connor the other day, like he's a friend out here now as well. So it shows you that someone at 21, obviously there's people potentially younger, there's people potentially older doing it as well. That people are earning in excess of 150k a year without tax brackets. So you got to benefit from that, and it just shows you that regardless of your experience, I think Connor come from a similar experience to me, like car sales as well. So it goes to show that the hard work does pay off as well. Okay,
excellent. No, great. So just coming back to how we've helped you then. I mean, what sort of things would you take from that we assisted you with at Guy Last through the recruitment stages, relocation, and the induction and training for guys that are watching now that are either considering contacting us or currently going through the process? Could you share what you thought the benefits were coming through us rather than trying to secure a company direct?
It's a lot because obviously, if none of you know who Guy is, if he hasn't told you 1,000 times already, he's got a lot of experience. He's got a lot of experience at Identify. Like, you could go out and you could say to someone who's been here 3 or 4 years, and you say, "Oh, do you know Guy Last?" Everyone knows the name. Like, people ask me, "Where did you come from?" Like, Guy Last, and I should have expected that. So, like, and the benefit I find with Guy, he said it to me in his induction. He was like, "If I was a rubbish real estate broker, I wouldn't be able to put my name on my company as I do." It's like, that's a very fair point. So,
I said if I wasn't ethical, but it's one of the things. It's one of the things that we taught, and you've probably experienced it now in the market. You may have come across agents that were ethical, agents that were unethical. But again, it's one point that we touch on during the induction and training on how I advise you to work in the best way to either build your network, build your name as an area specialist within an area. And one of it was ethical. Yeah,
like going on the training side of things as well. Like without your training, it would have been a lot more difficult because I had so many unanswered questions before I drove all the way to Cardiff and stayed an hour down the road mistakenly.
One thing, by the way, for everyone watching, one thing that Laurence did, so we hold the induction and training in Cardiff. Laurence Googled accommodation within 10 miles. And on Google, Bristol is only 10 miles across the water. However, it takes an hour and a half to drive along the coast and back again. Laurence actually stayed in Bristol and
the wrong country. The wrong country.
So, so you can see where Laurence has come from and what he's achieving in Dubai. So for anyone considering doubting themselves,
if I could do it, you could do it.
With any common sense, then just go for it, because Laurence is doing it.
But like, as I said, with the training, like, I had so many unanswered questions, and if I went direct to, like, on broker route, for instance, I went straight to him instead of through you, it would have been so much harder because I would have had to fly halfway around the world to get the answers in person, which I need to. Whereas for someone with good experience within real estate, not particularly the best, but good experience in real estate, he was able to assist me with my questions, which I was mainly concerned about. Like, as soon as we got there on the Thursday morning, I was like, right, I need to ask you a few things straight away just to get off my chest. Because it's a big move at the end of the day. It's not like I'm moving from Norwich over to Birmingham where I can have like a 3-hour drive home. It's a 7-hour flight and a 3-hour car journey from Heathrow. So it's a long old way to go with no one around the corner to pick me up when I fall. So the nice thing is with the training, you kind of went over everything which I needed to. So from the basics of Dubai, what's this, who are these people, like the different shapes, to going on to how the market's been fluctuating as well, to going on how it works, how the process is. It was all similar to what they taught me here, but to get it beforehand and get an understanding, it gave me time to really like get down, work hard on it, learn it before I come out, especially in my area, because they told me, I don't know if they're just saying it, they were like, right, you got to do a presentation in front of the directors within a week. I was like, ooh. I benefited from that. When one of my colleagues didn't do the training, they come direct because he's from a different country, and he had to do it a few times where I smashed it first time. So the benefit is I kind of knew what I was talking about before I come. I don't know if I blagged it or not, but
well, I mean, yeah. So I mean, just sharing with people that are watching, that are going through the process at the moment. When you attend a 1 day or 2 day with myself, we already know, the companies inform us of what area you're going to be specialising in. So over the 2 days or the 1 day, we do a lot of in-depth research and begin the process of you becoming an area specialist. So what Laurence is mentioning is that over the 2 days he gave a presentation to myself, and I was able to give him feedback and things to work on before getting to the office in Dubai. And as he mentioned, and I actually got feedback from the managing director of the company to say it was one of the best presentations that they've received from any new starter. So again, but on the serious side of things, I mean, in any industry, one of the most important things to know is your product. Without, that's the beginning of any sales role, is understanding what your product is and understanding, how to present it to clients. So that you was able to do straight away, which obviously gave you the opportunity to get out there.
Yeah. And I think that helped me move, obviously, because I think from the company's perspective, it'll probably be the same with other companies. They want to be able to trust you because their leads, their time, their databases of money. Ultimately, they're like pound signs for us back home. That's what they rely on to earn money. And if you go in unexperienced or not knowledgeable, people are going to start figuring it out and then question the reputation of the company. So they want to put their trust in you before they not throw you in the deep end as such, but let you loose onto the market as well. So
of course,
that's the way I saw it, which is very
cool. And with all that, with the knowledge and everything that you gained before arriving in Dubai, did that help you at all when having to pick up the phones? Because I imagine you were talking, qualifying leads or calling up landlords. Did that help the process? Did that help you in the initial stages? Yeah,
because obviously speaking to people who own properties in the area or live in the area currently, you think they know the area pretty better than you do at that time as well. So the way I looked at it is, obviously from your training, you want to act like you've been there for a year and you know everything about the area before you even start picking up the phones, because that's going to benefit you in the right way. Because the worst thing you want to do is have a big investor in the area who might own 10 to 30 to 40 to 50 properties within your community. And he questions your knowledge and questions working with you in that sense as well. So you can potentially, burn a bridge before you even cross it, if you know what I mean.
Well, of course, like you said, you're dealing with very experienced investors and buyers and people in Dubai. Even if they've been there for 2 or 3 years, they've been there longer than you.
Yeah.
So it's very important to understand your area and your product, your knowledge. Yeah. So, no, I'm glad, that it was able to benefit in that way. So within your short period of time, what advice would you give to somebody that's considering the move at this moment in time? What would you, and this isn't to try and convince them, what would you advise them to do? Whether it would be something to look into, would it be something not to listen to people? Who, what sort of things would you advise them to do to help them make the right decision?
I'd say go with your gut instinct, because you can question it all you want. At the end of the day, you're going to have thoughts running through your head because it's a massive move. You're going to have people saying some things to you. Even my family was saying, nah, don't go, don't do this, you're wasting your time. And I feel like you've just kind of got to bite the bullet and risk it. Risks rewards ultimately. You're not going to be able to earn the money you can in Dubai, selling cars back home. I could earn 4 or 5 times the amount I've done back home in a year simply by doing a similar effort-based job. Obviously, the benefit is you don't technically work weekends, but you do viewings at weekends if need be. But you can still live a good lifestyle out here. It's all about having confidence in your decision mainly. Only you can judge it yourself. You got to go with what you think. At the end of the day, I've done the same, and I'm now here, and so it's I lack a bit of common sense, apparently. That's what Guy just said. But I can do it, so you can do it, basically. Well,
it's going to take a lot to beat you booking a hotel in Bristol when you've got training in Cardiff. It'll take a lot to beat that common sense, I can tell you. So you touched briefly on lifestyle. Before you go, because I know it's coming towards the end of your day, but I'm sure you've got evening viewings where you're closing deals.
I've got a coffee to go to, apparently, with a client now. So.
There you go. So I don't want to keep you too long, but just before you go then, share a little bit about how your life, has your lifestyle changed in any way? Tell me, I'm seeing you sat in a tailor-made suit with your name on the inside and things. There's a material side of things, but tell me in general in terms of lifestyle. Has it changed much? You've been there a short period.
Yeah, massively. As I said earlier, I've gone from living at home with my parents to completely mature into, I'd say, a man now, even though I look a bit young. I'm growing into a man now, so it's the best thing. Lifestyle, yeah, it's completely changed massively. As you said, I know Dubai is a materialistic place. You're gonna go out, you're gonna buy nice things in life. There's gonna be temptations there as well. So like on your Fridays. I've never done a brunch before. I try not to brunch every weekend, but it's a bit hard because the social aspect again. But like, there's so much you can do here. And that's the nice thing. Like, you get people wanting to come visit you because obviously it's one of the top destinations for holidays now. But ultimately, I feel like I'm like living my best life now. Hopefully, once I earn a lot more money as well, which is soon to come, and I feel like I'll be like so happy here. So like my long-term goals is to stay as long as possible until they kick me out. So
good, excellent. Well, that was just going to be one of my last questions. Is what's your plan? What do you see for the near future? I want to build my name, like as you have done, like kind of a bit of inspiration from you there, Guy. And I want to make sure people who want stuff in Jumeirah Golf Estates, they're like, well, like referrals, word of mouth. I want people to know who Laurence Gage is ultimately. I want to basically continue doing what I'm doing, continue getting better at what I'm doing. There's still a lot to learn. I've got a long way to go before I'm a top dog at the end of the day. Hopefully it won't take too long. But it won't take too long. There's even multiple hotels for your clients.
Yeah. One in Abu Dhabi.
It's the way your area is. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, just about. Right. But no, it's mainly I want to build an empire out here as such. Like, I want people to know who I am. I want people to respect me for who I am, and ultimately I want to earn lots of money. And if I want to create a life out of it as well. So I don't want to be going home in a year or 2 years or 3 years. I ultimately want to be here for a long time. I think age is on my side, which is a benefit. And hopefully I'll get a few more days out in the sun. In 2 months I've sat in the sun 2 days, so I need to get
it's a bit hot at the moment though, isn't it? I mean, what's the temperature at the moment?
Well, yeah, this is what I was going to say earlier, like doing your viewings and stuff. Some of the villas don't have air conditioning on, and I think some of the temperatures, they average about 42, 43. But on your little iPhone weather app, they say like feels like 56, 57. And we had one day where it was like 47 degrees the actual temperature, and it felt like 59, and I was like, this is unbearable.
Yeah. So, and I was there a couple of weeks ago, and I'll vouch for that. It's you're walking into outside, and I know it's like a cliche thing to say you're walking into a sauna, but you literally is.
Yeah. And the only thing I would say for people moving out, a bit of top tip advice: get contact lenses, because every time I walk out of a building, I steam up, and I fell over in my first week doing that. So
yeah, I'll second that. I wear glasses, and every time you go out.
Yeah. I fell over in my car park.
That's it, mate. Then you're taking them off, you're trying to wipe them and clean them, and you can't see, then they're back on. But no, I'll second that. It was a nightmare at times, but you know, the weather will be cooling down in the next 3-4 weeks, and you're going to be enjoying beautiful weather. Lots of guys that will be joining you in a month or two as well. But so before you go then, any last bit of advice for anybody that has now secured a place in Dubai and about to move over there? We've got actually induction and training tomorrow and Friday. It's Thursday at the moment. Wednesday at the moment. Thursday and Friday, sorry. So we've got a group joining me tomorrow. So what advice would you give me to pass on to them?
To pass on to them, listen to what Guy says. Don't argue back. We had that a few times, I think. But it's mainly just to keep your eye on the goal, I'd say. Just keep focused on what you want to do. And people are going to be jealous of you moving out there because you're changing your lifestyle completely. Like, I've got friends out here who they've lost friends at home because people get jealous. It's just mainly keep your eye on the goal. Ultimately, you want to get some nice notes in your hands and make a bit of money and spend it on some tailored suits and everything like that. But I think just stay down to earth about it. Do what your gut feels right, and ultimately just work hard. You're not on holiday. I think that's one thing I would say. You're not here for a holiday. You're here to work. You can save your holidays to Fridays and Saturdays.
Exactly, and they're good holidays.
Yeah.
Focus on work as well. No, but Laurence, thank you very much for that bit. I mean, that's it.
My pleasure.
That's a key point to be. I mean, the first thing is, remember your motivations. Remember why you're doing this in initial stages. Because I tell this to everybody, you're going to have some of the worst days of your working career.
I can agree to that.
I think every real estate, the 5,000 or 6,000 registered real estate agents that currently are in Dubai, will all second that to say they have had some of the most frustrated and down days of their working career. However, on the flip side of that, I doubt there'll be one that would deny having some of the best days of their working career.
You've got to look out the window and just realise where you are for a second as well, haven't you? Like, it's a bit surreal.
That's it. And, you know, but no, thank you very much for joining us, Laurence. I think what you've added to is valuable for anybody that's either considering or currently going through it. I think it's going to help them a lot. So everybody that has tuned in, thank you very much for joining in. I am going to drop Laurence's Instagram account, so feel free to add him and annoy him at any point that you would like. I'm sure it's
follow the lifestyle.
I know, on the genuine side as well. If you've got any questions that you want to go past me and go direct to the source, feel free to contact Laurence. I'm sure he won't paint any pretty pictures. He'll tell you exactly how it is. But thank you very much, Laurence, for taking time to join us. And everybody that is watching, make sure you keep joining in. Please subscribe. And I look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care.